Hello, namaste, good morning, good afternoon, or even good evening in whichever part of the world you are joining us from. I am Deepak R. Khemani and I am the co founder of Bloom along with Premraj, Abhijit, and Payal, who is our founder. I take this opportunity to wish each and everyone a very happy Independence Day. It is our 75th Independence Day. It's a time to celebrate, it's a time to be joyful, and it's a time to remember all those who contributed in making us a independent and a free country where we get to do what we want, when we want, where we want, how we want. Bloom is the brainchild of Miss Payal Irani. Bloom is a flower that has blossomed and is spreading its fragrance across the globe. At Bloom, we are into physical and mental wellness, trainings, speaking engagements, and creating signature workshops for corporates and individuals who want to go to the next level. At Bloom, we will be catering to each and every aspect of an individual, where we will be creating masterpieces through our signature programs. Bloom has a powerful and a dynamic team which has been handpicked. They are the who's who in their industry and have an accumulated 200 plus years of experience in their own field. At Bloom, we strongly believe in co creation, collaboration, and teamwork. I invite each and every one of you to be a part of Bloom, where together we grow, and as Bloom blossoms, it creates ripples the world over. It gives me great pleasure to introduce my co host, Mr. KV Premraj. Premraj is a futurist. He speaks on employee engagement, leadership, and management. He is the co author of four, four best selling books. The most recent one was just launched 1 month ago. He has spent 37 years in the banking and financial services space with experience in both public and private sector banks. He was the CEO of the BPO arm of a leading private sector bank. I hand it over to Premraj to introduce our personality today and take the show ahead. Over to you, Premraj.
Thank you, Deepak. Thank you for that very kind introduction. And I welcome all the participants on the show. This happens to be our 50th episode. We have started on the 6th of September last year, and non-stop every Sunday we have been doing this week after week. And now we have reached this milestone of 50 on the day India is celebrating our Independence Day. And we have a celebrity guest today. Let me introduce our celebrity guest, Manpreet Kaur. Manpreet is a public relations consultant, soft skill trainer, life coach, NLP practitioner, and an anchor. She started a professional journey in 2016 with public relations. She worked across verticals and top brands like Emirates India, American Express, UC Browser, Pacific Mall, and the Lalit Hotel, among a lot of other things too. Manpreet loves training on various topics of soft skills and business communications, where she has touched various stratas of society. In the year 2020, when the pandemic hit the world, there were upteen struggles that came our way. However, the virtual world opened up a lot of new opportunities. To leverage the same and with the aim to share the unheard inspirational stories of six across the world and professions, a team of three young minds came together and started a channel called Famous Six. Manpreet was the face of the channel and used to handle content for the same. Manpreet loves to travel, write, and sing. She has done a graduation in Indian classical music too, a well-rounded personality. Welcome to the show, Manpreet.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your kind words and happy Independence Day to everybody. And I'm so glad that I'm here on the day when Independence Day is there and simultaneously it's your 50th episode. So, milestone. Thank you so much for having me on this special day.
It's a pleasure to have you. So let's start with the questions. Please tell us what is public relations and what differentiates it from advertising and marketing.
So be it public relations, be it advertising, be it marketing. Three of them are the communication tools. If any brands want to say something, so they have to use these three tools. There could be different ways, but these three are the major tools: advertising, public relations, and marketing. However, three of them are a little different, but people tend to get confused. They think marketing is also same, advertising is also same, PR is also same. So to emphasize on public relations, PR is the power of storytelling. PR is the power of persuading people. We use storytelling in an effective manner to convince media, to convince our clients. And that when I say convince, we are not saying that, okay, just use our product. We don't use that. We use storytelling. We use content creation for that. Third party coming into the picture, which is media, coming and saying that, okay, this brand is good. This brand has this story. If you want to use this, use it. Nobody is persuading you to use it. Nobody is forcing you rather. Persuasion is the power of communication. So we use communication effectively. And advertising is all about when you say this product is very good. You use directly you are convincing people. You're using graphics, you're using copywriting, and saying that this is the product that you should use. This is the product that you should use. So this doesn't happen in PR. And PR, just give me a moment. I'm really sorry, when
That's okay.
working from home is like this. Okay. So PR doesn't force you to use this. Advertising is more of when you're patting your own back, you're saying use this exact product and get the fair skin, or get the best product that you want. PR doesn't do that. PR is all about leveraging the image of the brand in a very different manner, wherein you're not forcing anybody to use it. Rather, you're telling a story and then you're leaving it that if you want to use it, use it. Success metrics is also very different between marketing, PR, and advertising. PR is when you are able to make positive relation between the target audience and the client and the journalist. However, marketing and advertising is all about when you are able to meet your target, sale target, when you are able to sell XXX products. PR doesn't do that. It's all about image elevation that happens in PR. I hope I'm clear.
Yes, yes, yes. You have explained that quite clearly. Now we can differentiate between them. So, but why is PR important and how important digital media and bloggers have become for the PR industry?
I believe PR is very, very important because audience is very smart these days. They don't want somebody to come into the picture and saying that, okay, use my product. Rather, they want storytelling. Rather, they want some third party coming into the picture and saying good things about you. If I am gonna say that, okay, my product is the best product, how, as a smart audience, you'll be able to believe that fact? That I am saying it's my product. Obviously, I'm gonna pat my back. I'm going to I'm going to blow my own trumpets. But when third party coming into the picture and saying, that brings more of credibility. So PR brings more of credibility, and audience is very, very smart these days. They don't want to hear just that, okay, this is consumer centric. PR doesn't force. PR doesn't focus on consumer. PR focus on funding. PR focus on business. PR focus on expansion plans. PR focus on media interviews, author articles. So we use different ways to narrate your story. Whatever is your key messaging, we use different tools for that. So this is why I believe PR is extremely, extremely important. I'm not saying advertising is not important. I'm not saying marketing is not important, but I believe that PR is very important because we are using a very different way of telling the story, and that brings more of credibility. And talking about digital media and influencers, they have become very, very important. Digital media, new age media has given a lot of options. Earlier, it used to be Times of India, Hindustan Times, Economic Times. There were these print papers. And if any coverage used to come. Let's say Bloom has appeared in Times of India, third page, very big picture. So you have to use that cutting to show that to somebody after 3 years, after 2 years, maybe after 10 days also. But now digital media has taken over. It has the power. You just Google Bloom and 10 year before article will also display on the chat, on the SEO. So that is how digital media is strong. And digital media is not only about Times of India being online. There are multiple platforms available these days. Be it Times of India, be it HT, be it Economic Times, Indian Express, or any other publication. Everybody is using social media in the best possible manner. They are also leveraging their social media. If let's say I have a client that is into hospitality sector and they want their recipes to get featured. Times of India will not only feature that in their print, maybe they'll feature that on their social media. Maybe they'll create a video out of it. Maybe they will also create, they have different platforms. They have different platforms to leverage your image. So that is why PR and digital media is very, very important. And talking about influencers, influencers have power these days. They are, that is why they are called influencers. That is why they are called KOLs, key opinion leaders. Because influencers, millennials specifically, if I talk about millennials, we don't consume content only via digital media or print media. We are on social media 24/7. And if digital media is saying something, if bloggers are saying something, and I have that trust, let's say any fashion blogger, I have that trust in fashion blogger that, okay, if she's suggesting me something, if she's giving some hacks about, you know, getting better skin, or let's say any gown she's telling me to, wear in this manner, or anything else, just for that matter. So if I have that trust in fashion blogger and she is endorsing that particular product in fashion sector, I would be able to resonate. I would be able to find that credibility in that product. So this is why influencer marketing is very, very important. However, everybody has become influencer these days, so it's very, very important for brands. This is my suggestion that use, if you want to tie up with influencers, do that. They are very strong. However, be very sure, because just don't go by XXX followers. Go with the content, go with the quality of content, the kind of engagement they are getting. Are they right audience? If you want to endorse any food product, so you should reach out to food bloggers, or you should reach out to people who are able to resonate with your product, not anybody and everybody. So that is the only thing. However, they have really strong power. Their voice, their opinion are considered very strong these days.
Wow, that's well explained. You have made a case for the PR industry. How has COVID-19 affected the PR industry? In COVID times, has PR become essential for business?
Okay. So yes, COVID, obviously it was a toll on all of us. It is still, industries are still in the process of recovering. There were industries like health, and health industry was one of the industries that had boomed. But apart from that, travel industry faced very bad situation at that time. And still it's in the recovery process. Still we can't go anywhere and everywhere. So virtual world is the new normal now. So PR was also affected during that time. However, it was a good part that PR was affected in the beginning. Clients were refraining to go for PR services because they thought that, okay, we don't want to allocate budget for marketing or PR at this point in time because our business is not going up. But there were other businesses, there were many startups and SMEs who understood the importance of PR, and they said, this is the crisis. Maybe we can use crisis communication. Maybe we can come up with something exclusive. Maybe we can use any exclusive strategy that maybe works in our favor at this point in time. And that did. That did. If you will allocate 40% of your budget of advertising and you allocate that budget for PR, 40% of advertising, I'm saying, you will be able to get the same results. This is how PR is strong. So when COVID hit, initially it was really bad situation, but in the later months, we were able to recover, and there were a lot of journalists who shifted to PR. Many media journalists shifted to PR because they saw that okay, PR is booming at this time. However, because there were a lot of papers, people were not allowed to touch paper, so print media had to face cut down. There were a lot of magazines who faced very bad situation at that time, firing and whatnot happened at that time. But PR was able to recover because we thought that now we have to come up with a different strategy, the strategy that can work in the favor of our client. So this is why we started doing podcasts, we started doing Instagram lives, we started doing webinars, and then our clients were also able to understand, okay, this is important. And if we turn the strategy, if we come up with something different and still we are able to share our message with the target audience, then why not? Why not use this? So initially it was difficult, but later people were able to understand that PR is something that has to happen. It is not something that COVID has affected the industries and our sales has gone down, but at the same time we have the opportunity to leverage our image. So at this time we can come across as a strong thought leader. So this is the time then when people understood that there were a lot of companies who started their business at that time. So we were able to give services to them. So it was a mix of emotions at that time. It was a mix of time when people were not going for marketing and advertising and PR strategy, but there were a lot of brands who thought that okay, now the time has come when we have to come as a strong, vulnerable leaders. So yeah, this was something that happened during COVID.
So opportunity and adversity, that's good. Thank you for sharing that. COVID-19 has spawned a lot of solopreneurs. As a PR professional, what advice would you give to individuals to become visible in the market?
Like I mentioned before, very important you leverage your social media, use social media effectively, go with different strategies. So every client, every sector demands different kind of strategy. If you are into hospitality, you should go and make some reels. Reels are very, very important. Reels. Like people enjoy watching reels. 30 seconds you have and you're watching that reel and you're able to resonate. That relatability is there. So Instagram reels, LinkedIn, very, very, very important platform. I believe LinkedIn is one of the most important and professional platforms. So you are able to come across as a thought leader there. So use LinkedIn, use Instagram. If your audience is on Facebook as well, go for that. Very important. And if you can start investing into PR. And if you think that okay, maybe I don't want to, as a solopreneur, obviously you have a lot of responsibility. So and you are vulnerable at the same time. You have different. You are just in the nascent stage. So so that is why go for services that you can use at that time. Start with social media and eventually go for media presence because media has the power, utmost power, at least in India. If media is saying something, we are able to understand our ears at that time. So it's very important to use right messaging, to use right platforms, basis the need of your client, basis the need of what you want to say. So this is my suggestion to solopreneurs. I have also started my journey very recently, and I will as a solopreneur. So I believe that I am trying to use social media effectively, though I keep on telling my clients do this, do that, but I am engaged in so many things that I am not able to use each and every platform effectively. I'm using LinkedIn, then okay, I'm not using Instagram. So, but as a consultant, I request, I suggest my clients that use social media effectively. It has the power. It has the power.
Thank you for sharing that. I'm sure the solopreneurs and the solopreneurs on this platform and who are listening to this will be taking advice to heart and do something on the front. The platform that we are speaking on, Bloom, is a startup birthed less than a year ago. Your advice to Bloom to become visible beyond the small confines of personal contacts of the founders.
So first of all, like I said in the beginning itself, congratulations to Bloom. You guys are doing wonderful job. 50 episodes. I mean, it's a milestone. It's not easy to be available every weekend. Everybody has different commitments on Sundays, but you guys have been managing from 50 weeks. Kudos. So, and I'm sure that you guys are able to do it. You're using the right strategy. I remember your team got in touch with me through LinkedIn. I was not somebody, you were in touch before. So this is how it shows that you are already using an effective strategy. You know where to get your audience. So LinkedIn, very, very important again. Then go like it is okay. It is okay to say what you want to say. There are times when you feel that, okay, this kind of content, maybe I'm not professional enough, maybe I'm not perfect enough to say it on the social media, or let's say I am not saying it in the appropriate manner. I could be better. Yes, obviously we can be better every time. We can't give our 100%, but it's fine. It's fine to share. It's fine to say. And my only suggestion to Bloom at this point in time, like you have completed your 50 episodes this day, so you should have done a press release for that. But like if I would have known before, so I would have suggested you that okay, go for a press release. So do something like that. Go for press releases. Try and do some interviews in startup media. Try and do some interviews in SME and entrepreneur media. Connect with the media and do something that, okay, this is what we have been doing. This is the strategy. This is the mission and vision behind this concept. And try and share as much as you can. Word of mouth, social media, if advertising is also one of the things that you want to see in the long run, go for that. Different strategies help you in different ways and open different opportunities for you. So, and I'm sure Bloom is going to bloom more with each and every passing day. So, congratulations and kudos to the team.
Thank you. Thank you for those tips. And when we do our 75th and 100th show, we will ensure that we take heed to the tips that you have given us. Thank you for sharing that. Now let's get a bit personal. You started this channel called Famous Sikhs, where inspirational stories of Sikhs from around the world were showcased. Tell us more about it and the message of some of the people who graced this platform.
So, if I joined this networking platform called WSCC last year during the lockdown. It also started during the lockdown. And World Sikh Chamber of Commerce, all the Sikh personalities, Sikh entrepreneurs and SMEs and all these people were there in the group. So there were two people. I gave one of the session. I delivered one of the sessions. And there were two people who were in the process of starting a channel, but they were not able to get a host for that. So I delivered one session and they called me up and they said, we are planning to start this channel. Would you like to anchor? Would you like to be an MC for this one? So I said, okay, yeah, I can do it. I was not even that serious at that time. I was like, okay, I'll do it. And when I started, I first person I interviewed was Lieutenant General Balbir Singh Sandhu. And when I was able, like, I was really scared to interview, like, army personality sitting in front of me and I have to ask questions to him. And it went really well. He was so humble and so sweet. And I was asking some random questions, also candid questions, also. He was very sweet to answer each and every question. So that was that made me more confident. Okay, I can do this. Second one I did with he is Manpreet Singh. He was also in Rabne Banadi Jodi and Band Baja Barat. So then I was like, I have to interview a Bollywood personality again. That fear came, but he was also very sweet, very charming. So I was. Then we did 21 episodes, and I interviewed politicians also. I interviewed comedians also. I interviewed uh, Bollywood personalities. I interviewed. Matlab, each and every domain was covered in 21 episodes. I was enjoying that phase. I was literally enjoying that phase. We used to do these interviews on Sunday only at 12:30, very same time. So, but because of some conflict that happened between the team, after 21, we were not able to go ahead with it. But it was a very, very beautiful phase for me. I was able to understand that, okay, this is something that I can do. and I literally enjoyed that. I evolved as a personality. And the best, so he's no more now because of COVID, we lost him. KS Aluwalia, he was a mentor. He was my mentor also. And the way he used to narrate these stories, the way he used to say that humility is your power, you have to have gratitude in each and everything that you get. And in between the lines, the way he used to speak. I interviewed him. It was the third episode, I believe. I things changed for me. He was really. So that was one of the interviews that I can't forget. Apart from that, Mr. Jitendra Singh Shanti, he's a politician and he's doing wonderful job. If you read about it, you'll get to know that he is. Matlab, I can't even say in words. He was in tears while giving interview. So I enjoyed that. I learned a lot. So those 21 episodes helped me. Each and every week, I used to say this during the interview, ki, sir or ma'am, this is like my weekend recipe that आप मुझे 1 घंटे में जो भी बोलोगे ना उसमें से जो भी बेस्ट होगा I'm gonna keep it with me and use that thing for good 7 days and again I'll start in the next week I'll get something new. So I evolved as a personality. I learned so much because these people were so senior and I used to ask random stupid questions, no, not but candid questions. And these guys were very sweet. So I learned a lot during that phase, and we got covered in multiple publications because I was the host. I was using the PR strategies. I was doing the content. I was doing the scripting. So it was really wonderful when we did this.
Yeah, nice. Thank you for sharing this. And we can see on your face that you enjoyed doing this. Savor the moment, and I'm sure you will find something else to do too. You started your professional journey in 2016. As business communication coach, what has the changes that you have seen in the last 5 years in business communications in terms of content and medium? And what are the changes that you foresee in the near future post-COVID?
So business communication is really important. And people don't understand the value of business coaches or business communication. There are still it's in the nascent stage. People are still understanding. They still need to grasp. And some years back, it was not that effective. People used to feel that क्यों चाहिए क्यों, need क्या है? And still, I used to say that okay, what I do, I'll tell you. I, as a business coach, help with the internal and external strategy. If any clients need soft skill training to align internal communication, I give that. If external, they want to get featured in media, I do that. And if there is any digital strategy, social media strategy that they need, I do that. These are the 3 services as a business coach that I do and give. So first thing, digital marketing, they understand because they are getting their sales up, they are getting SEO. कि ठीक है हमारा business बढ़ जाएगा ना, this is what they ask. And if big corporates are there, they are able to understand the value of PR also. But soft skill is still in that stage. Who knows the value of soft skill? Who knows that soft skill is something that should be taught during the school days. It's not something that we should start right now. Ki ab gratitude seekho, ab ye seekho. This is not how it should work. These are some life skills, interpersonal skills that it's a lifelong process. So, but still, I have to make people understand that what is the value of it. So some years back it was not. Now it's better. Some years back it was even more difficult, and I can foresee that now people have started understanding, and in the next 5 years, people would be able to resonate and understand the need of it. Because leadership, it's easy to say that we are leader. I am a leader, but handling leadership is very difficult. Qualities that you need to have. You have to be authoritative at the same time. You have to be humble at the same time. You have to have that synergy between your team. You have to have numerous qualities as a leader. You have to understand the time management, discipline, punctuality, and whatnot. So it's very difficult to be in that position, and it's a lifelong process. So I believe it's very important that every day you understand the value of soft skills, And as a business coach, I help my clients, I help the brands that I work with to align internal and external communication, because communication is the key. अगर आपको कुछ बोलना है, अगर आप कुछ कर रहे हैं अपनी कंपनी, मतलब आपका लेट्स से टेक्निकल में आप कुछ कर रहे हैं, how would people understand? How would people know? Technical people are there. They can't communicate effectively. You need to have somebody who is professional enough and confident enough to share your messaging on your behalf. So this is why I believe business communication is very important. Writing, I even teach that, okay, how to write effective email. Email also makes a difference. Every small, every minute details in business communication makes a difference, creates a difference. So yeah.
So if people follow what you are saying, the world will be a much better place.
So
My last question. Sorry, you're saying something.
No, I was saying I'm very young for that. But yeah, what I've learned, I'm just trying to share. That's the only thing that I'm doing.
You might be young in age, but the thoughts that you have expressed are far beyond the age, the physical age that you have displaying. My last question to you before I hand it over to Deepak to take this forward. On the professional front, you have been blessed with a lot of success. What would you consider as your most satisfying experience and why?
So whenever I see myself getting covered, like I'm getting interviewed by you and Deepak sir, that is milestone for me. Every time when I get an opportunity that somebody, I feel that I am in learning stage and people are, and I'm not saying for the sake of it, I say that I am God's favorite child and I mean it. So I say कि मेरे को कुछ स्पेशल उन्होंने भेजा है just because I'm his favorite, not I am, I'm very good, I am the best, nobody can be, I'm not perfect. So I say कि I'm God's favorite child, इसलिए वो bias हो जाते हैं. So he gives me कि ठीक है, you get covered, you want this, you get it, you want this, you get it. I was saying that these three things drive me. One, humility, being grateful, and gratitude, somewhat interrelated with each other. So this is what I love, and I try and practice this each and every day. That I'm grateful for what I have got. I'm grateful for being God's favorite one. So this is what I believe, and I love getting interviewed whenever I'm on stage. That is the best place for me. That is the ultimate place for me. I just want people to listen to me, and I can speak and I can share. So that is my ultimate place to be.
We are grateful to have God's favorite child on our show. Now I hand it over to Deepak to take this forward. Deepak, all yours.
Yes, thank you, Premraj. And indeed, when you hear the word, the phrase God's favorite child, and a very, very young, person saying that I am God's favorite child, acknowledging it and being grateful for that, it's really, really good to hear and good to know. So, great, Manpreet. Thank you for sharing what you have shared in the last half an hour or so. I just want to take this discussion forward. And you spoke about influencers and, people running after influencers. Influencers also make a lot of money when they promote, any product or any services.
Right.
So my question is, has that line blurred between PR and marketing and advertising? Even though we were trying to compartmentalize those, actually nowadays there is that very, very thin line, or where is there actually a line between PR and marketing? Hi, Manpreet, do you want me to repeat the question?
No, sir. I think I understood the question. If it is still in the process of completing, then please, I request you to.
Okay.
Sir, you were asking. Sir, can I repeat on behalf of you?
Sure,
Sir,
you can.
The question that you asked is that the line is getting blurred between digital PR and advertising because influencers have taken over. This is the question.
Yes.
So yes, influencers have become really strong. They have the power to persuade, and that line, I won't say that it's getting blurred because advertising is very different. Advertising doesn't count in PR and marketing. However, PR and marketing have blended in some way because influencers have taken over. That is right. But I believe that it's very very important for the brand and the PR people to understand that okay, if I am tying up with this influencer for my brand, so this influencer will bring that difference to start with. And second, it's very, very important to understand that, okay, this influencer is not promoting each and everything. If he or she is a fashion influencer and he or she is promoting, let's say, anything which is not associated with them, that I don't think so. Obviously, food they can promote because everybody eats food. But if they are promoting something which is really out of their league, so that needs to be understood by the influencer also because it's very important to create your niche. Niche is very important. And for this, at the same time, PR person and my brand also has to understand that wherein I'm investing and if this investment is going to make difference for me, and that transparency is very very important. That's very very important between if you are uh, tying up with any influencer and every influencer and that is not bringing any change and that is not important enough, you're not reaching out to the right target audience, their target audience is not your target audience because everything is interrelated. So that is something that as PR people, we guide as PR consultants, we tell our clients.
Yeah.
So yeah, digital and PR has joined hands and working together. But I think that is doing good. That is making difference. And the line is getting blurred. But at the same time, success metrics is very different because PR maybe see that okay, the positive relations are able, we are able to get more positive relations, and
Yeah.
marketing maybe have certain targets that we need to do.
Yes. Now coming to paid PR, especially paying influencers to promote your product or a service, or just to say, I'm in love with this, I ate this and I like this. At sometimes an influencer may actually be giving his or her honest opinion. He or she may have actually visited a restaurant or bought a product and said, this is so good. There will be times when they have been paid to say that. How does one distinguish that this is actually a paid advertorial or this is a real, a real review coming from an influencer?
That's really a nice question, and that happens. I'm not going to deny that it doesn't happen, but as a PR consultant, that I try that we go for barter. And if these influencers are, if they are asking for money, obviously that's not even something. What for what they are working. Their one Instagram post also costs, let's say, 7,000, 8,000. So they have that kind of audience and engagement. That is why they are asking. So it's completely fine the commercials that they are charging. But yeah, it happens that there are times when these guys are taking money or making money, and that's why they say good things about the brand. But there are many many influencers who are very credible enough who don't say any and everything. Um, Possibility they don't like the food, so if they'll say that I didn't like the food, if I'm going to review that, are you fine with it? Because if I'm going to review, I'm going to tell my honest opinion about it. At that time, we can control the crisis because that person didn't like the food. So we can say, okay, then don't do it. And we'll work on our internal strategy. We'll make better recipes and everything. We'll align internally. But
Yeah.
if these guys are saying just for the sake of it, then yeah, then later their audience also understand because everybody knows that if it's not good, then it's not good. So it's very important for influencers also to understand that if I'm promoting this product, maybe I'll get 10,000 for this post right now, but my audience will understand eventually. So their influencers need to be more responsible, and at the same time, PR team and client has to understand that okay, wherein I'm investing, if I want to do this particular thing, I have to be 100% sure that I am investing at the right place.
Yes, very, very well said. And we also, hear about what happens when there is negative PR. And this comes out of nowhere. There was this recent case where that Messi, went and sat on that podium, on that table. There was a Coca-Cola bottle in front of him, and he just threw it away and asked for a bottle of water. I mean, there was so many negative reactions from the guys who are, against Coca-Cola and the soft drinks and the carbonated drinks. They just pushed it up anything. Sometimes an innocent action by a influencer, by a sports person, by a celebrity can actually cause a chain reaction, something which happens and goes viral. Can you share any example in the recent past or anything which you remember which went viral like this?
Yeah, this is one of the examples when Ronaldo kept that bottle aside and he said, I
Yeah,
think something, the pronunciation may be wrong. He said,
yes.
go for water. So
Yeah.
it was actually a very innocent thing to do, but as consumers and as blind followers, we do that. If we want to consume it, consume it. Everybody knows that it's not good for your health.
Yeah.
So if you want to consume it, then consume it. It's fine. If you don't want to consume it, then don't consume it. After Ronaldo saying that he go for water, you've just left and followers got decreased, and these guys also faced XXX amount of loss in terms of their sales. But later they came back. They said that it was not the reason. Later they said that they confirmed. But yeah, at that time, other brands also used the very same strategy. They even used that in a funny manner, in a
Yeah.
sarcastic manner. Like Amul came into the picture saying, I don't remember the graphic. However, they used that kind of strategy wherein they were targeting Coca-Cola
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
many other brands. Fevicol. Fevicol
Yeah.
said, "Na hatega, na na hatega," something like that. They said.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is how other brands were able to make money out of that particular incident. However, Coca-Cola faced lost followers and faced shares and all of that.
Yeah.
So this is one of the things that I also remember. If I talk about one of my clients, and it is an Independence Day, so I think it's a good day to talk about. Uh, Oppo in 2017, I believe, 2017. So one of their internal employees, what they did, he was a Chinese person, so maybe he didn't understand the value of Indian flag. So he tore the flag and he put that in the dustbin, and that news was like it was viral. It was viral, and obviously it was not something that can be considered. So it made us it created a big crisis at that time, and it was a situation wherein the PR team came into picture and they controlled the crisis. They first of all, this guy was sacked then and there, and later they rolled out the policies that these are Indian sentiments that you need to have in your mind if you're working for if you're working in India. These are the things that you can't do. So everything happens and crisis happens, but this is the learning that uh, how you are able to manage that crisis. That is more important. If we talk about Maggie also, in 2015 when Maggie incident happened, it was
Yeah.
that it has led. So
Yeah.
at that time also, it was a very bad situation for them. They were banned for I think 6-7 months. So then when they came with a ban. They said, "माँ के हाथों की Maggie." Why did they say that? Because माँ के हाथों में तो माँ कुछ खिला रही है वो गलत नहीं हो सकता ना. So this is the kind of strategy that you need to come up with, and
Yeah.
it's very important. As a PR person, I don't endorse. I don't say that okay, only work on your strategy. First, work on your product. First, work on your service. Then only we will be able to help you. Because if your service is not good enough and you don't have that trust in yourself, then there is no point of having PR agency or marketing agency also, because at the end of the day, consumer will use your product and PR person can help you get interviewed in 1, 2, 3, 4 publications. उसके बाद बहुत. So you paid PR or unpaid PR, on PR will not make difference if your product, if your service is not good enough. So it's very
Yeah.
important to work internally, then only you'll be able to get external benefit.
Yes, yes. And that is where it all started when I said, nowadays that thin line between PR and marketing and advertising has almost thinned or become, gray, it's disappeared. When Amul advertises, they are no longer saying utterly butterly delicious Amul. They are just picking up real life things which are happening, making a joke, making a caricature out of it. And it's just, even though it is advertisement, the brand is being advertised. This is actually PR for Amul. I mean, they are just reaffirming their faith as this is a great brand to be associated. There is no talk of Amul ice cream or Amul doodh or Amul butter. It is just Amul. Wonderful. Same thing with Pidilite. Everybody knows Pidilite ka jor hai, tootega nahi. So, they just need to
Yeah.
say Fevicol and Pidilite. Yeah.
So
Wonderful. Okay.
Amul is literally the bab of branding. The kinds of ads they come up with. Oh my god, too good. The branding that they use, the team that is sitting in the back end, working on their creatives, working on the copywriting, working on the strategy. Too good. The thing,
Wonderful.
if Olympics, if Neeraj Chopra has done this today, they'll very next day they'll come up with something that people will be able to resonate, and the big codings that they have. Oh my god. So the strategy that
Yes.
Amul has, Amul is really the barb of branding.
Yes, we
So
have
every
grown up
brand
on
should be
all
on.
these branding and ads and these simple advertisements, these simple caricatures, these simple photographs,
Yeah.
these simple hoarding which you see on the road. Amul, okay. You look at it, you have a smile, you get, oh wow, and then you move on. Nobody else can do it. It's only Amul.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. So this has really been a wonderful, sharing session. How, again, Premraj asked you about, that Bloom is a startup and how one should brand ourselves and how should make ourselves visible. What would be your advice to somebody who is totally new, who's just starting out, who's today deciding, I want to reach up in life, my business, my service needs to be promoted? How does he or she connect or brand or position himself?
So, like सबसे पहले work on your internal strategy that I have already mentioned. But if some brand in any domain, let's say, has come up and want to understand that what they should do at this point in time, go. I'm not going to promote myself, but go for somebody who is business coach, who is business consultant. Go for a consultant because you need that consultation at that point. You need to understand that at this time digital is required or at this time advertising is required, or perhaps you need PR. So you have to understand that because constant communication is very important for any brand to be there. So it's important to have a consultant at that time and understand the need. And if you have certain budgets for that, understand wherein you want to invest that budget. Because I understand as a startup, you literally refrain of going for PR services, marketing, advertising, because you believe that this is the secondary thing. However, it's not
Yeah.
the secondary thing; it's actually a primary thing.
Yeah.
But if you have that confidence in your brand, and if you have consultant at the same time guiding you that okay, this is the right strategy that you need to go for at this point in time, and maybe after a quarter go for additional services that will help you getting leverage more. So it's very important to have a consultant, I believe.
Yeah. So PR, instead of saying public relations, the P should be renamed as primary. PR should be primary relations. This is what
Yes.
you should be doing first and doing everything else later on. Yeah, wonderful.
I am
Thank you. Thank
taking this one. I am taking this one. I am going to use it.
you. And now you will create a PR for Bloom for all of us. So that's the barter that we will do.
Done, done, done.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Manpreet. So we are coming very close to the end of our program. If anybody from the audience would like to ask any question, you can unmute yourself and ask Manpreet. Or if you want, you could type in the chat and I'll read out and she can answer the question.
Hi Manpreet, namaste. Namaste everyone. Happy Independence Day to the beautiful audiences. Manpreet, I have a question. It was an insightful session, so thank you. How important is a website for a company, for a startup like Bloom, as well as for individuals, for influencers, for business people?
Uh, First of all, thank you so much for asking this question. And it's actually a question that I am able to resonate. So I have started my company called Risk Communication, and I was confused. I was confused that I should invest into websites or not. And this question, that is why I'm able to resonate with this one. I was thinking that, okay, I'll leverage social media only. I'll use social media. But then I was talking to one of my potential clients, and then he asked me that, do you have a website? So people feel that website is credible enough. They want to see testimonials. They want to see what work have you done in the past, what kind of clients that you have been associated with in the past. So I think the website is very important. It's your portfolio. It's your portfolio. If you can't invest as a startup, very like you don't have that certain budget for website, go for one page of website at least, but try and be very creative in the less budget, what you can do best, what kind of services that you can show on your website, that this is something that I do, that is something I do. So there are multiple things if you do. So your website should be able to quickly tell your audience that this is the kind of work that if you are looking, this is the kind of work that you'll be able to get from this particular brand. So I think website is very, very important. My website is also in the process because I thought that first I was confused. Then I thought, no, I'm not going to invest into website at this point in time because I wanted a very good website, either a very good one or I don't want it. Then I understood the importance of it. My potential clients, my existing clients were asking for that. So I think website is very important, but obviously different people would have different opinions. So in my opinion, it's important.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Manpreet.
Thank you, Payal, for asking that question. Anybody else? Anyone has any question? So it seems our audience is hungry. It is close to lunchtime on a Sunday, which is also Independence Day. Time to be with their family, time to be with your friends. I would like to now hand over to Premraj to officially thank Manpreet for being here and close the session. Over to you, Premraj.
Manpreet, there is one question from Ketan on the chat.
Please ask.
How far PR can ensure meeting targets set before entering into a contract?
So let me just read the question.
Ketan, want to talk about it? Ketan, unmute yourself and talk about it, please.
Yeah, I didn't understand the question.
Sorry?
Yeah, Ketan, you can ask your question.
No, before you enter into the contract with the PR team, does the targets are being set? This much will be achieved by entering into the PR? And if it is so, then how much insurance can be given? Okay, this much will be achieved. This much target will be achieved.
Okay. First of all, thank you so much for asking the question. Second, I love your t-shirt. I have been, because I can see 4 people on my screen and one is you. So I really want to say your t-shirt is very nice. Okay, so coming back to your question, yes, there are certain targets that are given in the beginning, but it is more of like 3 months, 6 months they want, but it is more of a gradual process because in marketing, we get because we are paying for it. In PR, we don't pay to the media, it's on media. So it takes time, and client also understands that okay, this is a gradual process. It's going to take time. However, it will create difference. So there are certain, let's say, if any client wants in quarter, they want 8 to 10 coverage. So that bracket is somewhat given, but there are times when we don't get in 3 months, we get it in 4 months. So there are certain targets, but not that heavy targets like sales and marketing.
So let me end this now. Thank you, Manpreet, for your time. You have come across like a whiff of fresh air. The poise, flair, and sure-footedness you displayed is heartwarming. You are truly a God's child. Our knowledge about the efficacy and importance of public relations has been enhanced. Thank you and God bless.
It was my pleasure being here, sir. Thank you very, very much. And I'm humbled. I feel special that you guys gave me an opportunity to share what I know, little bit what I know. So thank you for that. Thank you for having me. Happy Independence Day to each one of you. And I know it's difficult on a Sunday and then to on an auspicious day that you are taking out time for being here. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And-
Bye. And God bless Manpreet.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you all the participants too who stayed till the end.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.